Hey YouTube, Jay Kilroy back in the shop for a little Shop ADHD. If you haven't already, please consider liking, subscribing, hitting the little bell, all that jazz. Greatly appreciate it, helps me out. We are going to go over a variety of projects that are ongoing in the shop. Got several things going, working on several videos for my fellow YouTube creators. They know exactly how much work some of this stuff takes. So anyway, let's move the camera around to a different location here and get with it. All right, here we go. I have been in somewhat of a pattern making mood, and if you saw Clark Easterling's video, Windy Hill Foundry channel on YouTube, about these, then this is the first of a variety of patterns and stuff that I've been working on, just enjoying the 3D printing, a little woodworking. So this is a pattern that I did, and pardon me for not being able to, I had a couple of the, I guess, in-work versions of this, you know, iterations floating around here, 3D printed, but I seem to have misplaced them. So anyway, this is a, move some things out of the way, this is a pattern that I've done for, to make a Machinist Jack. Specifically, a Machinist Jack that finishes out at the exact bed height of a Kurt 6-inch vise. I use a Kurt 6-inch. I have several of them around here. Probably the most popular machinist vise, certainly the most copied machinist vise in the world, and use them all the time. Well, if you put something in the vise, hangs over right now, there's a variety of things, variety of items, you know, Machinist Jacks out there, super popular to hold items up. What I wanted is I wanted one that, one, I could bolt to the table, that I could put in a slot and bolt down and have it stay there. I wanted one that finished out at the same height as the bed of the vise with no adjustments necessary. So if I put a big piece of bar or big item in the vise, boom, set this down, bolt it down, good to go, right? And this is going to be an upcoming machining. This is going to be an upcoming video. It's kind of a work holding challenge because there aren't really any, you know, if you want to machine the top, not really any parallel surfaces to grab. It's got draft all around. It's a beautiful cast iron. Clark did a wonderful job. And so it's going to be an interesting work holding video that we're going to do here very soon. So, and the only surfaces that are going to get machined here are going to be the bottom, the top, and the slot, and possibly face off the boss here for your hold down hardware. And like I said, this is designed specifically for 6-inch Kurt vise. Certainly you could drill it, tap it, thread it, and make a Machinist Jack out of it, a more traditional Machinist Jack, and I'm sure that I may do that with some of these others I got here. And based on how well these work out, how well these machine, you know, going to get Clark to cast some of these up, and then I'll be able to sell these to help support the channel, and we'll see how that goes. Anyway, while I was working on that, I also use a, this is for 6-inch, I also have an 8-inch Kurt. It has a higher bed height. So I did this pattern here. I haven't done anything with it. I haven't, you know, sanded this up. I haven't painted or anything. It's far from being usable as a pattern, but you know, this is you go through an iterative process. And this is just an iteration. The bed height, if I'm recalling off the top of my head, for a 6-inch curt is 2 3/4 inches. And the rough casting here gives you right at about 3 inches of usable material. So this will finish down very nicely to 2 3/4 inches and give you plenty of material to work with. The bed height on the 8-inch curt is 3 1/4 inches, I believe. This is just, again, this is just off the top of my head. And but looking at this, I need to change it around a little bit because the slot's not going to be big enough, because the machine that I use, the big Kearney trucker that I use the 8-inch vise on, uses much larger hardware, and this slot is, you know, basically the same size or a little bit larger than this one here. I need to change this up some. I don't know if I really need one on both sides. Anyway, future project. I also, let's see, this pattern here. This is a pattern that I did a long time ago. I made that of MDF. It was done on a CNC router. And it's for a 11-inch faceplate, basically a copy of the 10EE faceplate that came with 10EE. It has a boss here suitable for, I believe, up to a D13 or any number of threaded spindle noses. And I am going to send this to Clark. I'm basically just going to gift this to Clark here. He can have this. Clark's going to be able to cast these for you and provide these castings to you as a finished product. It's a nice size. It's very usable. I've also sent him one that's slightly smaller than this. That's would be great size for smaller lathes, say a 9-inch South Bend, or even a Myford, or you know, any of the smaller lathes. And this is 11-inch. Will finish out to like 11 1/4. And I'm going to send this to Clark. Let him cast this and sell these as a way for Clark to help support his channel and his shop. And so if you're interested in any of these, keep an eye on Clark's channel, Windy Hill Foundry, and keep an eye out for this. Some other patterns that I did. This is one that I'm working on. This is a copy of a block that I used to use in shop that were larger than this, that were used with strap clamps. And the ones that I was using were about this tall, but it was very, very handy. This particular block here has steps at 1/2 inch and 1 inch increments. So you got a 1/2 inch, an inch, inch and a half, you know, 2 inches, so on, all the way up to the top here. And this print is not really usable, but it's something else that I'm working on. Surprisingly challenging to draw, actually, with draft in all the right places and not in the places you don't want. So again, this is just an idea that I've been tossing around here. Anybody interested in something like this, let me know. Give me some feedback, give me some motivation to continue to work on this. Again, this is for, the idea here is this is for Bridgeport size machines, smaller machines, not large work holding apparatus here. So let's see what else we got. There's a couple I did a while back. This is for a 3-inch and 4-inch, to finish up to be a 3-inch and 4-inch cube, machinist cube, draft on the inside and the outside. These are printed in HIPS, high impact polystyrene, which is a great 3D printing filament for patterns, because you can sand it and paint it. It will take paint just fine, primer and paint. I printed these up and finished these out, but talked to Clark about them, and Clark said, you know, these would be a lot easier for me to pattern up if you had them halves, so I'm going to have to redo these. I thought about just trying to slice them in half with my bandsaw, and I might give that a shot. Maybe we'll do that here in just a little bit just to see what it looks like. But there's no solid layer in the middle, right? So there's infill in the middle. Don't know how that'll turn out, but why don't we find out? It'll work out. Let's see. It up a little bit. Well, that wasn't too bad. Let's take them over to the bench and take a look. Well, there we go. They cut fairly decent, actually. There's a little bit of, you know, burr, some waste material that's brought out by the saw, but all in all, better than I expected. Now, are they going to be usable? That is still to be determined. Obviously, all of these pockets and holes and cavities in here, based on the infill print properties of the printer, are kind of a non-starter. So something's got to be done about that right off the bat. All right, to seal up these holes, we're going to use a good old fashioned spot putty. Works really good with 3D prints. I don't know if any of y'all have used it. There you go, they're all puttied up. I'm going to set these aside to dry. Like I said, I don't know if they'll be usable, but we're going to give it a shot. While we're going over that, here's a related pattern that I did here recently that I already printed split. I printed this as 2 halves, and got some work to do on it. Corner lifted here a little bit, got to do a little cleanup. Anyway, this is a pattern for a kind of a copy of a machinist block that I saw many years ago, that the Clover Pattern, or that's what you call it. The block had this pattern, because it had V-grooves, various sizes across the faces, which was very handy. And I just saw it, I thought it was neat, something I wouldn't mind working on, so working on that. It's got a little bit of, plenty of work left to do. It's certainly not the case that you just print something off the 3D printer and stick it straight in the sand and cast it. It isn't that easy. I'm not saying that's not doable. I'm just saying that that's not doable for me right at the moment. So another video that I'm working on right now is this. Video for this. This is a mag base indicator arm sent to me by my good friends at Shars Tool, sponsors of the Kilroy Measurement Challenge at the Bash coming up this summer. Hashtag Meet Your Maker. Doing a little video right now, working on a video comparing this arm here to kind of the industry standard, the Noga, of similar size. Shars sells this tool as their Aventor brand heavy-duty indicator arm. I will include a link down in the description to this part. Look for a video very soon comparing this arm to a Noga arm of a similar size. Which is sold by Shars, and it'll be interesting. I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but I will tell you it's a quality piece. Other things we got going on, also working on another video, another project, using some of my favorite stuff, pneumatics. And got some pieces, parts here, little Bimba cylinder, and Norgren valve. So we're going to be doing a little video on pneumatics. Give me some feedback on whether or not you're interested in simple pneumatics applications, the use of potentially the use of pneumatics in the shop, and we can kind of discuss these items. But I do have a little video coming up for some parts for a project involving pneumatics using parts like this. So let me know if you'd like to see more of that. It's kind of fun. I enjoy pneumatics. Don't know really, it's a whole lot cleaner and easier to mess with than hydraulics, and for low power applications, you know, really, these are extremely useful in work holding applications and get used fairly often. You don't see much online about it, but you can do a lot with this, and for very little money, very inexpensively, for quality products, right? So anyway, video coming up on this here, right here. Alrighty then, so these pieces that I cut apart, not straight by the way, so that was kind of a, I didn't use any fence or anything. So I'm going to take a little very cold and hard 5-minute epoxy, and you're going to epoxy in some aluminum dowels that were left over from another job, and
Gonna jig these things up and make these, hopefully make these patterns usable again. Alright, what I got here is a little, got a 24-volt LED strip light that I got offline for some ridiculous amount of low money, I'm sure out of some Chinesium coronavirus factory, and then I've got a contact switch. So we're going to wire this up so that we can put this in magnetically attached to the top of the electrical box in the Martin lathe, and be able to use this as a light inside the electrical box, and also as a good indicator when you open the door that the machine is hot. Alright, here we are over at the Martin lathe, and you can see those two screws kind of poking out the right side of the box. Those were existing holes. So we're going to use existing holes. And you can see the light there has a couple of nice heavy-duty Chinesium magnets mounted to it to stick that up inside the box. And then we're going to wire this up, slip that little, I'm sure that's the resistor module for the LEDs. We're going to slip all this wiring up in the Panduit and get this wired up and get this switch mounted.
Alrighty, friends, viewers, neighbors, that is a healthy helping of ADHD, what's going on in the shop. Whole lot going on, a lot of material here for a lot of future videos, so you know, look forward to a lot more coming. Lots of feedback. Give me feedback on some of these ideas. If there's some of these ideas that you hear me talking about for videos that you're not interested in, let me know. If there's some ideas that I am talking about that you are interested, please let me know. If you just want to say hi, just drop a line and say hi. I always appreciate comments. I always appreciate the discussion that goes on in the comments. I always look forward to hearing from my viewers. So, comments up or down. You know, I like honest feedback. It's the most valuable thing about the experience. Anyway. So the bash is coming up this summer. Hashtag meet your maker. Link down below. Shout out to all of my buddies, including, especially for this video, Clark Easterly and Windy Hill Foundry. Link down below. And a link down below for the indicator arm that I'm going to be doing the video on soon from Shars, my friends at Shars that sponsor the Kilroy Measuring Contest at the bash. So link to Shars, link to the arm in question. Look for that video soon. You're going to like it. We're going to have some fun. We're going to do some quasi-scientific testing and have fun doing it, and have some good laughs and maybe learn something in the process. So Anyway, I hope everyone's doing well. Be safe in the shop, and I'll be back with you soon.